Hey family, we're talking about holy living today. We're talking about being a whole person, pursuing peace with all people. We're just kind of continuing along this path. Welcome back to Love Note. So grateful to be here with you guys. And look, we are to be a supplement to what God's doing at the local church, of which you're a proud member of. And you're going there. Even though you got church hurt, you're there. You're there because you love God and because he told you to go to church. Also, because you love God, you love his people. You got this thing called grace. It's this beautiful empowerment that he gives us because we don't have the ability to do it on our own strength. And that's also a part of the good news. So if you're ready, I'm ready. We're going to jump right back. We're going to gump right back into this passage in Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 14. It says, pursue peace with all people and holiness. So the last couple of conversations we've been talking about holiness, what it looks like. Now, I want to propose that holiness is the byproduct of being a whole person. And before pursuing holiness, it says to pursue peace with all people. And so we're making the point that we're doing everything we can within our ability to be peace, to be Jesus, to be what's needed in these situations and in these settings for the people that we're running with, that we're doing life with. Marketplace, and it's not necessarily the people that you like or that you even want to be doing life with. It's just the people God's put in your circle. And so you're trying to do the best that you can. And what we're saying is that, you get to that place where you've done everything that you can and you have. You stand before God and you're like, God, I've done everything that I could possibly do in this situation. And sometimes you have to be okay with the fact that some people just aren't going to like you no matter what you do. And that's just a fact of it. But we want to also make sure we're not giving away free game. All right. What am I talking about? We don't want to necessarily be living in a way that's just drawing all kinds of undue attention to ourselves either. And that's a part of pursuing holiness. If I'm pursuing holiness, then I'm a whole person. So I'm living life in a way that makes me whole. What does that mean? That means that I'm the same person whether I'm in this setting. I'm the same person whether I'm in that setting. I'm the same person when I'm talking to you. I'm the same person when I'm talking to my wife. I'm the same person when I'm fathering my children. Whatever it is, I'm the same person. I'm not code switching. I'm not changing my language or my etiquette whenever I'm around different people. Now, there's going to be certain rooms that you're in and you're honoring the room that you're in. And I get that. Maybe you're speaking less. But when you do speak, it's congruent. It follows right along with the way you're always speaking. You're not adding extra thee, thou, thuses, and shouts into your conversation to look a certain type of way. If you are doing that, you know what that's called? It's called bearing a false witness. We don't want to do that. We want to be so solid and rocked in intimacy that we're okay with who we are. And we know that we're walking and we're doing the best that we can to put our hand forth to peace, to put our hand forth to holiness, to living whole, to living holy, for he is holy, to cleanse yourself because he is clean, to put on holiness, to put on compassion, all these things that Paul's telling us to do. We're doing the best that we can. And I'm not doing that like greasy grace best you can. I'm talking about like you're really earnestly with all your heart. You're swallowing your pride. You're saying sorry in moments that maybe the other person was more at wrong than you are. And you're leaving the results up to God. That's holy living. I'm pursuing holiness, which is righteous living. I'm living according to the word of God. I'm pursuing that, but it's not so that I can get my extra whatever fire insurance check for the week. I'm doing it because I'm in love with Jesus, right? It says if you love me, obey my commandments. But we try to obey before we fall in love. And that's why you fall out and you have burnouts. That's why there's seasons where you're walking more purely with him than you are others. That's why there's seasons where your devotion is stacking up one way. And in the next season, it's not so much stacking up there anymore. And so, listen, we've all been there, got the t-shirt and the sunburn. But the difference between Christians, true Christians, not people that say they're saved because they live in a Bible Belt or say they're saved because an uncle was a deacon one time or because you got sprinkled at birth. You're actually saved, okay? And how do you know? Because you got fruit. There's fruit that comes with it. You know what the fruit is? Galatians 5. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That's the fruit that comes with it. They'll be known by their fruit. That's what Jesus said. And so we're walking in salvation. We're free from the pains of sin and death. And because of it, we're getting involved in this thing called devotion to God. We're spending time with Jesus. We're praying with Jesus. we're doing the best we can to get into the prayer closet. And because we are, the spirit of prayer is beginning to grip us. It's beginning to take us in a deeper place where the fruit of our intimacy is beginning to spill out onto the pages of our life. That's what holy living is. And we're becoming more whole day in and day out. It's a process. Put that in the chat. It's a process. So we are in process. We're not jumping out of the process. We're not trying to manipulate the process. And as a result, there's beginning to emerge from the soil of our heart this stuff called fruit. And it's a beautiful thing. It's the fruit of holiness. It's the fruit of being a whole person and wholesome living. And what this does, and it starts establishing this thing called relational righteousness. And that's what we're going to talk about next time. Until then, I hope this has been a blessing and y'all continue to be blessed.